The sun blared down on the quiet suburban street, its heat shimmering on the pavement, but beneath that seemingly peaceful daylight calm, danger pulsed like a hidden heartbeat. A tiny figure stood frozen near the rusted gate of an abandoned warehouse, her trembling hands clenched tightly against her chest. Her wide, terrified eyes darted toward a police dog standing several yards away. And then, as if gathering every ounce of courage left in her fragile body, the little girl gave the faintest, almost invisible signal, just a slight twitch of her fingers, and what the dog did next shattered the silence, stunned the officers, and changed the course of several lives forever. If you believe in kindness, courage, and second chances, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our W Insights so these powerful stories can reach more hearts. The story begins on a bright Tuesday morning, in a small town called Meadowcrest, where patrol units were investigating a string of suspicious disappearances of neighborhood pets and children reporting eerie sounds from a condemned warehouse. Officer Rowan Hart, a man known for his quiet determination, had been assigned to the case, accompanied by his loyal K9 partner, Arden, a massive German shepherd with deep amber eyes and a sensitivity so uncanny that fellow officers often joked he could read emotions better than humans. Rowan was tough on the outside but gentle at heart, and his bond with Arden was something sacred, built over years of hardship, near-death rescues, and silent companionship. That morning, Rowan had noticed Arden acting strangely. The dog's posture was tense, his ears twitching every few seconds as if detecting a silent cry. Rowan brushed it off at first, but Arden refused to move from the area near the old warehouse. It was as though the air itself carried pain, unease, and a desperate plea to be heard. Rowan trusted Arden's instincts more than he trusted some of his fellow officers, so he lowered to one knee, running his hand over Arden's fur. "What is it, boy?" he muttered. Arden stared ahead with unwavering focus. Inside the warehouse, little Mira Salas, a 9-year-old girl with a face smudged by dirt and tears, held her breath as she listened to the muffled footsteps outside. She had been missing for nearly 4 hours after wandering off on her bicycle to find her cat, Pebble. A man she didn't know, a man whose eyes looked like ice, had dragged her inside, muttering under his breath, pacing frantically, and locking the door with a heavy chain. Mira was terrified, but she was also smart, and despite her young age, she understood one thing clearly: she could not let fear win. As she sat huddled behind an overturned shelf, she heard the faint sound of paws, strong and rhythmic, clicking against broken concrete. Her heart skipped. The stories she heard from kids at school about police dogs flashed through her mind. She remembered someone saying these dogs could tell if you were afraid, hurt, or even trying to ask for help without speaking. Eyes wide, Mira slowly crawled toward the sliver of light coming from a crack in the wooden panels. She peered out and saw him, the majestic German shepherd with alert, intelligent eyes scanning every inch of the space. Her breath hitched. She couldn't shout. She couldn't move closer without alerting the man who had trapped her inside. But maybe she didn't have to. Mira pressed her trembling fingers against the crack, lifting them gently, just an inch, just enough for her dog to see the movement. She hoped, prayed, he would somehow recognize the signal. Arden froze. His eyes locked onto the tiny twitch of fingers, a nearly imperceptible sign that only a dog like him, tuned to human distress, would decode. His ears shot forward. His tail stiffened. Rowan noticed immediately. "Arden?" Rowan whispered, tension creeping across his voice. Then it happened. Arden barked deep, sharp, purposeful, a bark that meant urgency, danger, and direction. He lunged toward the warehouse door, muscles coiled, body rigid, paws scraping the ground. Rowan followed instinctively, his adrenaline surging. He signaled for backup but knew they were minutes away, and minutes might be too late. Inside, Mira flinched at the loud bark, the man jolted awake from his manic pacing. His head snapped toward the door. He hissed in fury, muttering about cops ruining everything. Mira shrank behind the shelf, squeezing her eyes shut, but her silent signal had been sent, and Arden was already reacting with unstoppable force. Rowan pulled hard on the chain-locked door, but it wouldn't budge. Arden clawed at the metal, barking furiously, each bark more urgent than the last. Rowan stepped back, evaluating the weak spots in the structure. He saw the hinge, rusty and old, weakened by years of neglect. "Arden, move!" Rowan shouted. Arden backed up. Rowan kicked with all his strength. The door shuddered. He kicked again, harder, until the metal screeched and the bottom hinge gave way. Inside, the man panicked and grabbed Mira by the wrist. Her cry was soft, but it was enough. Arden heard it, his ears twitching sharply. Rowan forced the door open fully this time, storming inside. The man froze, eyes wild. Rowan shouted, but the man didn't listen. He lunged toward Rowan, dragging Mira like a rag doll in front of him. But Arden wasn't waiting. With a roar of pent-up instinct, he charged forward, leaping in a perfect arc. Mira squeezed her eyes shut. Rowan reached forward, trying to shield her. But Arden, swift, precise, trained, latched onto the man's forearm, forcing him to release Mira. She stumbled backward into Rowan's arms. The man screamed, his grip weakening as Arden pinned him to the floor with a protective ferocity. Rowan held Mira close, feeling her trembling body against his chest. She clung to him, sobbing silently as if every emotion bottled inside her burst free in that moment. Rowan whispered reassuringly, telling her it was over, she was safe. Outside, the backup officers finally arrived, cuffing the man and calling for medical assistance. But amid the chaos, Myra's eyes remained fixed on Arden. She slipped away from Rowan's grasp, crawling toward the dog with soft, shaky steps. She buried her face in his fur, hugging him tightly. Arden nudged her gently, licking her cheek as though saying, "I saw you. I heard you. You're safe now."